Hey guys, welcome back to PixelCity. I'm Joy with you, and today I'm going to share two simple tricks to create a duotone effect for Instagram in Photoshop. Right, these are two very simple hidden tricks in Photoshop, and you can just follow along with the video to learn these two simple tricks. So without any further ado, let's get started.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust.
Okay, so the first thing that we need to keep in mind, if when we're working with the first duotone method, it is already available in Photoshop for us. So, and what we need to do is we need to desaturate the image at first. Not desaturate, just we need to convert the RGB information to grayscale information. Now before that, I recommend you to check that if the image you are working with is already converted to sRGB profile and it is 8-bit image, because when we are working with any social media profile, I think that's the best configuration to start with. So to check that, go to document profile and you can see sRGB is in there. If it's not sRGB, you can go to edit, assign profile. You can assign profile the sRGB version from in here, and you can just click on OK. So it can just assign a profile from in there, and make sure if it's 8-bit. So if it's not 8-bit, go to mode and then click on 8-bit from in here, or just take in 8-bit from in here. So it just converts it to 8-bit color information, right? So if you have already done that, so the next part is going to the image and clicking on the mode and clicking on the grayscale. Okay, so this brings up the grayscale image. Now let me tell you a thing. If you think like you just have to desaturate the image, you go to image adjustments and then clicking on desaturate, and you think like the grayscale and the desaturate looks the same, and you think you can get to work with the duotone, but it's still grayed out, right? Now why this happens, let me explain that to you too. So you see, you take up a curves adjustment layer, for example, you say curves. Now you see in the curves RGB is still there. If it would have been a grayscale image, it would only store the two colors, black and white. RGB, it shouldn't store RGB, right? So you go to red, you can play with the red, you can go to blue, you can even play with the blue, right? So it still has the RGB information in the image. That's not totally black and white, I mean not the grayscale image. So to do that, we can do one thing only, and just convert the total image to grayscale. Go to mode and go to grayscale and click on discard. When it said discard color information, click on discard. Now go to image and go to mode and click on the duotone. Now it has got so many beautiful presets that you can choose from, and you don't have to even make your own presets. So here are monotone, duotone, tritone, and quad tone. I'm clicking on duotone because this is a duotone video, and you can just go for any presets that you want. Let's say warm yellow or warm gray. So you can just choose from these presets. Okay, so this is our duotone effect in the first method. Now going to the second method, this is my favorite method of creating any duotone that I want, because in this case the image need not to be converted into grayscale image, and you can just work with another adjustment layer that you can change anytime. So this time we're going for the gradient map, and just click on the gradient map. Now one thing you should keep in mind, when in gradient map, the left part, whichever color is there in the left part of the gradient map, it targets shadows, and whichever color is in the right part of the gradient map, it targets the highlight. So this is for the gradient map. I'm not talking about the gradient fill layer, that is something else. Also you can do some kind of cool effects with that too, but that's I think I should make an in-depth video about the gradient map and gradient fill layer someday soon. So in this case the shadows are black and the highlights are white, so this is the simple black and white effect that we are being offered. Now let's choose some other gradient. Let's say this gradient, this is a cool gradient, and you can find it any version of Photoshop. So if you are interested in more gradients like blues, purples, you can just go here, and in the earlier versions of the Photoshop you can just change the gradients from in here. The 2020 offers a great way to explore gradients, right? So this is a popular gradient. Let's choose this gradient and click on OK. I'm gonna hide this one from the properties panel. Now this just doesn't looks right, the colors are not blending in properly, so just go into the blend mode and select soft light. So that's how you create a duotone. That's easy, right? Now you can play with the opacity if you want, and you can just check how you created an effect. You want some different effect, let's say from the pink I choose this one. Now that doesn't looks right. From the orange, let me choose some. Okay, this is oranges. I play with the opacity a little bit. Now this is the way that you can again create a duotone in the gradient map. Again, one more thing that you can do is my stupid task but keeps on coming. So you can go to the gradient map and you can actually create colors of your own. Let's say orange and teal effect, right? I want the orange to be in the shadows, somewhat of deep orange, and I want a teal color to appear in my highlights, right? Like this. Let's change the blend mode to soft light, and you see the duotone is being created like that. You can just play with the opacity. I know this doesn't look cool in this kind of image because this is already an afternoon shot where it has too much of warm light. So basically this would have been great if I would have worked with this kinds of gradient. Like this gradient will look very much cool because it already has the color balanced in. Now I can even change the color of the blue. Let's say I want this to be greenish. Okay, somewhat of greenish, yellowish. I don't know. Just play with them. This is so fun to work with, and you get a different effect. You can change again this color to color information to blue and see what happens. You get another color or another duotone. So this may be a triotone, but this is the same way that you are going to create that. Okay, so that's how you create a duotone for Instagram in Photoshop, and make sure that your image profiles are checked to sRGB and 8-bit. If it's not, then you might face in changing color issues when you go for the social media profiles. Okay, that's it for today. I hope this video has helped you a lot, and if it did, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more such videos like this. And as always, pop the pixels. Thanks for watching.